This is Apple on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Monday. We ended the week at $210.62, down 1.63%. To the north side from where we are takes us to resistance at 211.36. Above that, at another level of resistance, 212.56. VWAP is at 213.50. The middle of the trend and the baseline takes us to 214.98 and roughly 217.25 to the north side of that at 2 standard deviations. And above that, 218.41 and 219.62. I'll flip this over to the 15-minute time frame and give you some price targets to the south side. But one price target you can count on to potentially close out at some point will be this line. We've already tickled it. We gapped up, so I anticipate it to fill to the south side. So we got to about 210.30, but we need to take it down to 209.37-ish to close out. So, but we are at support, so we could bounce off of this and then make our way back down again. So watch out for that possibility. Looking left, you can see the clear bounce at support, support, support. And then we are at support here with this gap that, excuse me, is taking us down. And then the sell-off here at resistance, 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 and resistance. We hit our 1-year price target when I tracked it on June 11th at 203.01. The 1-year price target is 212.96. And after that, 275. Don't hold your breath on that one. And then a baby gap at 193.18. And then, Command Z. It's so tiny that I'll move it later. It's hard to grab right in the center of that without having to extend this thing and make it larger so you can grab those little points. Yeah, we've got a lot of downside action here when we reverse course. But right now, we are still in an upward channel with Apple. Let me flip this over, to the 15 to give you some price targets to the south side. So, move this out of the way. Oops. My goodness, just grabbing the wrong area here. All right, this is where we are. On the 15, this will take us down to roughly 206.88, 204.48, and 202.07. Now let's take a look at this on the daily. Apple is my largest individual holding. And because it's run so much in the last couple of weeks, it's been great. I love it. But now we're seeing a correction, which Apple always does. Apple always gives it back. I've owned Apple for a very long time, and it just always cracks. It's not like Microsoft, where it holds steady and then gains some. Oh no, not Apple. Anyway, so we are cracking on the daily for the RSI. This used to be my gap and go segment that I did, and then it hit every gap I was tracking to the north side, so I stopped tracking it, and then voila, look at this beautiful ride. Now, not so much. See all the gaps to the south side? But if I can see red, white, and blue is how I have it marked so I can see this easily with my eyes when it's hard to focus. But right now we are at 2 standard deviations, and you know what happens at resistance. So we're starting to feel it going down, price going down. But the target, if we hit this line, because we are right here, this will act as support and then possibly bounce. But that will take us, if we go up to 218.83, and then above that will take us to roughly 229.25. That would be above the 1 year price target. And then back to the middle of the trend will take us to roughly 188.01. Yeah, I remember when price was hovering around this area. But fortunately, I bought a ton way below that, so I'm sitting pretty well. But look at this. When we crack, this will be an opportunity to potentially get in, or I guess short if you like to go short. So that's the daily. And let me see if I can make anything out on the weekly, because sometimes this chart gets really wonky. Yeah. So we are right here. And on the weekly within this channel, that will take us to roughly 239.17. And to the south side on the weekly, a long ways off, 172.82. But that will close out all of these gaps, rip off the Band-Aid, get down there. And then, oh, I don't know about those. Oh, nasty. All right. That is a look at Apple on the 5, the daily, and the weekly. But you know what? Just for giggles, let me just see what I can see on the monthly. Yeah, that's not looking good. It's hard to make it out. What are we at? 210.62. So the north side on the monthly, 243.14. And back down here to support on the red line, 179.31. Okay, I'm really done now. Option R, let's reset that. Oh, and all of these other lines are my previous support and resistance lines or target lines, or this is a gap one. But for instance, this line, I can just delete it. There, make it easier to see, less fussy. All right, have a great trading week.